All right, hello, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. We're back at it again, and in this video, I'm going to share with you the recent struggles that I've been kind of dealing with recently and how I'm overcoming them. I just, I just kind of came up with this randomly, and I think it'd be good for me to go through it just to summarize everything and kind of work through it as I'm talking. But at the same time, if you're anything like me, you may struggle with the same sorts of issues. And so I just wanted to go over them and tell you how I'm going, kind of like my mental process of going through it. So maybe you can take a couple of things that I say and use it for yourself. Because that'd be sick. So, yeah, my recent struggles as a 17-year-old ambitious guy. The first thing that has been kind of at the forefront has been this injury that I have had for the past like 7 weeks. It wasn't a serious injury. Now it's more of like a nag and this thing that's becoming like chronic. It's an Achilles issue. So I'm not sure. It's like tendonitis, tendinopathy, whatever. Achilles hurts, right? That's the baseline. And it has been getting better. At first, it was really painful to run on it, and it was swollen and it hurt a lot, and it didn't like rupture or whatever. So thank goodness for that. It didn't like explode on me, which would be absolutely devastating. But it hurt for a while, and if I overwork it now, it still hurts. Like it's on my right specifically, and my left one's okay, it's fine. My right one though it's got issues, to say the least, and it's been bothering me for a while because I really want to train hard. I have a goal of getting to the 800-meter state final, or just doing as well as I can in the 800. Right at this point, I can't speculate out that far if I'll improve that much, but I want to work as hard as I can to get as far as I can. Does that make sense? And like with this injury, it's really been sort of holding me back, especially for the first few weeks. It really it was a real struggle to try to just like accept that this is something I had to cope with. And so for a while I would just try and run on it, and well, not for a while, but for like a week or so, I tried running on it a little bit. I was just in denial, like, no, there's no way I'm injured right now. Like, this can't be happening. And yeah, and so I also just did way too much of the rehab stuff. I didn't, for the first like 4 weeks, I didn't really prioritize like taking a rest day or whatever. And I was just trying to do like cardio and, rehab it every single day. And, it'll get better, but I've learned a lot, to say the least. And so how I'm trying to get past this is, one, take more rest days in terms of just resting the Achilles itself, not spamming calf raises every single day. Like, yes, still do that, still do heavy stuff, because I've been learning a lot about the like tendons, and you have to put force through them. Like in order to get like rehabbed, you kind of have to exercise it. I mean, obviously, but it's the same as if you were building muscle. Like you can't just spam bicep curls every single day and expect your biceps to grow. Like, yeah, they probably will a little bit, but at a certain point, if you're lifting enough weight with your biceps, they're just gonna like be so fatigued because you're training them all the time. There's not gonna be enough time to recover. And so that's something that I've just had to like chill out with, is the rehab stuff. Like, cause if you're like me, I think you'll really understand this. Is like, you want the injury to go away. I want this thing to go away now, tomorrow morning, right? I want to wake up and be able to run like 10 miles or something, right? But the reality is that injuries heal very slowly, right? You just can't force it to get better instantly. That's just how it is, and especially if it's like a minor injury. Like, just be grateful it's not like a rupture, because that would put you out for the next like 6 months to a year. So yeah, I'm just trying to, one, be grateful that I'm not like super injured, and not like put myself backwards more by overtraining, by overworking it. And it's just finding that balance of what what you can tolerate, and yeah, what you can like tolerate and recover from, and how much you can like genuinely push that. It's just balancing that with your desire to go above and beyond and to try and push. And so what I've found has helped me a lot is just find alternative ways to push yourself. So I've realized now, like, I think the most important thing that you can do whenever you're injured is to accept that you are injured. Is to accept, like, okay, you're hurt, do some other different crap. You need to stop whatever it is that's injuring you and reassess. And if you still want to train, train just in a different method. And so that's what I've been implementing these past like 2-ish weeks. And I think it's been really helpful, because I was having a lot of kind of doubt and uncertainty on, like, okay, am I actually going to achieve this goal? But I had this realization of, okay, if I'm injured and I can't run, for example, because it's my Achilles, then why don't I just train everything else that helps with running, right? Because if I want to get to the 800-meter state final, it requires certain things that doesn't mean I need to run for it. Because even though it's a running race, you can still do other things that kind of simulate running, or there's different things like you can do to train yourself that still help you in that race, right? And so I'm thinking now, okay, I just periodize this to where I do, like cardio, I do whatever, so where it's like my chest, like my heart is good to go, my legs are good to go. It's just I'm not like spamming load on that Achilles whilst it's getting better, right? So for example, what I'm doing is I'm biking, doing the assault bike. I'm on the Stairmaster. I'm able to tolerate stairs, but what I'll do is, instead of like pushing off with my calves, I will a little bit, but I'll mostly just kind of like, I'll focus more on lifting my legs up than like stepping off, if that makes sense. So I'm able to do Stairmaster, and it's basically simulating running, essentially, kind of. But I get that heart rate, I get a little bit of work for my legs in, and even though my calves are probably a little bit behind, I'm still doing, muscular work. Like I'm doing calf raises, I'm doing some light plyos now, because I'm starting to get back into a little bit more kind of explosive and like bouncy stuff without that much pain. So I'm kind of working through that. But I just think that whenever you're injured, you don't need to lose hope. I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned and that I'm trying to implement now. It's like, don't lose hope, because there is other things you can do. Don't give up yet. There's other things you can do. Like, yeah, if my Achilles like exploded, like, okay, fine. Like, like, okay, something, I probably just need to do like something else and just like rearrange my goals. But it's not like there's still reason. It's still within reason that I can come back from this and succeed, right? Succeed in my goals. And it's just another layer to that story that will make it even better, right? And so I'm actually trying to find some level of like gratitude for this injury, to kind of not only like humble me and to say like, you are not invincible, but I'm also finding that it's like, this is going to make the story better when I do succeed. But overall, how I'm overcoming this injury is accepting it and just doing whatever else I can, and not being stupid about it. Like, just be like, you got to play this smart. I have to play this smart if I'm going to succeed, right? And that means not overexerting myself, resetting my progress. It means being very careful and calculated and not making stupid decisions. So yeah, I think that's the biggest struggle that I've been dealing with recently, and that's how I'm overcoming it. So I hope that part helps. Another thing that I've been experiencing recently is, these feelings of doubt, and that came with the injury, but just doubt in general of like, what am I doing, right? Like, is this even working? Like stuff like, so I also have a YouTube channel, right? Obviously, this will be posted on a different one, but I have a YouTube channel that I've been having, can't speak, bro. I've been having some doubts about it, thinking like, oh, is this right? Is this blah blah blah? Like these things, and those thoughts of like, oh, I should just give up. I should just like start over, just focus on something else. Like lots of these like doubtful thoughts come into your mind, especially if you're not like making the most progress, and yeah, so like you just have this doubt of, oh no, like it's not gonna work. Doesn't it's not right. Like these lots of these like deflating thoughts. And so I'm trying to just shut those away, because honestly, like those don't serve me in any true fashion, right? Like I do have those thoughts of like, oh, should I pivot? Should I do this? Should I do that? But even those are like, most of the time it's out of fear, out of like, there's a reason why you aren't seeing progress, if that makes sense. Like there's a reason why I wasn't seeing progress in my videos for a little bit, and that was one because I wasn't taking the time to improve them. I wasn't just literally just wasn't doing enough volume. I wasn't challenging myself. Like there's lots of reasons why things probably aren't going the way that you want them to. So instead of thinking like, oh, I should just give up, I think an important thing to do is to reframe that and to think like, okay, what am I doing wrong here, and how can I fix that, right? And put in the work to fix it before you entertain those thoughts of like, oh, should I pivot? Should I, should I do this instead? Should I quit? Like there's lots of things that you should do before entertaining the thought of like those doubtful thoughts. And so that's something that I'm trying to apply to my own life. And it's really weird how those thoughts happen whenever you aren't working on the thing. Like whenever you're working on the thing, those thoughts just go away. Like the thoughts that I had whenever I was, like kind of like stagnating, those have went away in a great degree because I've just been doing more for the thing that I was doubtful of. Does that make sense? Like I was doubtful about my YouTube channel, but those thoughts went away for the most part whenever I just started doing more work for it. Because like you can't, it's like it's two counter thoughts in your brain. Like they can't hold the same thing. Like two things cannot be true at the same time. Like you can't doubt yourself, but then also work on something at the same time. At least that's what I've found in my experience. It's like that doubt kind of goes away for a large part whenever you just work on the thing, right? And like you can apply that to anything. Like I'm doubtful about freaking, I don't know, like whatever you do for work, like getting jacked, right? I'm not sure if this is working, but then you go and work out and you get a pump or something, and then you're like, okay, maybe I'm not making the same amount of progress that I want to, but it's still working. Does that make sense? Like I'm still putting effort towards it. I don't know. That's something that I've been doing. It's just like put in more work. Don't doubt yourself before you like have put in the work and actually tried. Yeah. The next thing is a little bit of procrastination. So not gonna lie, I was procrastinating hellas before this, dude. Like I was watching YouTube videos. I was I did eat some food, but I kind of scheduled that beforehand. I was just kind of like sitting around like, oh, what should my schedule be for the next like week or so? And I was looking at my Google Calendar, ironically, and I had scheduled this block to record this, right? And it it was like running through that time block, and I was like, yeah, I'll just get to it in a little bit. I'll just get to it in a little bit. But eventually, I just stood up, set set this up. It doesn't take that long. Like I just need to take down open the lighting basically, and like set up my phone, and then we're good basically. And so I just set it up, and then now we're here, right? So honestly, yeah, I guess it's pretty simple to overcome procrastination, in my opinion. It's simple, but it's not necessarily easy all the time. For me, I found it's really easy to kind of cope and be like, oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it, but like on this day, or like you. For me, like it's kind of weird because I'm aware, like, and I don't mean to like meat ride myself here, but I'm aware enough to understand like when I am kind of coping and I'm kind of like just like scrolling on my phone for no reason. Like I'm aware of that. It's kind of this weird feeling where you like I know I'm scrolling and I probably should be doing something else, but it's like, should I be really bothered to do that something else? And like I think you'll understand this. It's like what you're doing isn't what you should be doing right now, but you're still doing it. Like you're still doing the bad habit anyway. Like you're still scrolling, watching Joe Rogan clips or watching some random short, right? Like so much of that crap, like that happens to me more often than I want it to be completely honest. Maybe saying that will help me. But yeah, that kind of like procrastination happens a lot. And so it is simple to overcome that I've found. It's like you just stand up and command your body to start doing the thing that you should be doing. And eventually like it's that first initial part of friction that's the hardest part, but then it becomes easy after that. And something that I've learned is that it actually becomes a lot easier whenever you kind of flow from thing to thing. And I'm not necessarily like the way my life is kind of structured out, it's not perfect. I think there's ways I could probably engineer some way of like making flowing into each task easier. But for what I'm finding right now is like it's somewhat difficult to do that. But I think what I can do, and what you can do as well probably, is like just set yourself like a reminder. And if you do find yourself not procrastinating on whatever, just command yourself to go and do the thing, right? Even if it's like a terrible rep or whatever, it's like a terrible gym session. Like you still went and you weren't scrolling on your phone the whole time, right? At least I hope, right? If you're at risk for that, you should probably put your phone away. But I think you get what I mean. It's like just go and do the thing, even like just so you're not procrastinating it. Like I get like there's probably like the quality versus quantity argument there, where it's like your quality probably isn't the best, but the fact is like you're still gonna be doing something. It's still better than doing something that's destructive, right? It's like a net neutral than a net negative. So that's what I'd say to procrastination. That's something that I think I'm getting a little bit better at. My screen time has been going up this past month, though, to be honest. So, need to work on that. Future Keegan, if you're watching this, you better be locked in, bro. Stop scrolling on those YouTube shorts, bro. They banned TikTok. You gotta lock in now, bro. Yeah. The next thing is, and I'll kind of tie these together, is sleep and consistency in better habits. So, with my cardio specifically, I noticed about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, that I had been slacking on like my daily cardio for a while, for like the past like month and a half. I hadn't been getting like consistent like day in day out, like aerobic cardio plus the anaerobic stuff. And so I've been trying to up that a little bit more consistency wise, and I think I've been doing a pretty good job with that. And yeah, just like other good habits, kind of like meditation. I haven't been doing as much. Um, Specifically on like the sleep thing, my sleep and wake times, have not been good. I'll be just completely honest. like, so like for my standards, anyways. Like for most people, I probably sleep like a freaking maniac, but I just like for my standards, because I want to hold myself to the highest standard like freaking possible for sleep, because I understand how important sleep is to me, to my recovery, to getting healed from this freaking injury, and just in general, is just like being an athlete and trying to be my best. Is I understand how important the consistency in my life and just sleep in general is. And so when I've learned recently that like the regularity of your sleep and wake times actually matter a huge amount. And like I've been going to bed and waking up just randomly. I've been trying to have like this kind of rule of like, okay, just go to bed around 9 p.m. and wake up around 6 a.m. I don't sleep for 20 hours. I think you get what I mean. It's like I try and go to bed around those times. But sometimes I'll wake up around like 6:30, 6:45, 6, 5, like just randomly. I have work sometimes that will, like I volunteered to do like super early shifts just because I thought, oh yeah, I'll wake up early, be like hella productive, wake up, get the work out of the way for the day. Like the morning shifts are typically like really chill. There's only a couple people that come in and swim. Like I work as a lifeguard, and there's only people that come in and swim. You're just kind of chilling there. I get lots of steps in because I'm just like walking around the pool basically. It's cool, except it absolutely destroys my sleep schedule because I'm only doing it twice a week. I couldn't imagine doing it 7 days a week. That'd be awful. Or even 5 days a week, dude. That'd be terrible. Though it would give me more consistency, and but the thing is in order to get enough sleep at that point, I need to go to bed at like 7 p.m. And that's just not realistic for me or for like just my living situation. Like I still live at home. And so there's people that are going to be awake at 7 p.m., watching TV, playing with the dogs, like just like normal people stuff. Like they aren't like maniacs like me trying to go to bed before, like 9 p.m. And so that like they're just going to be doing people stuff, and that's loud. And so like I'm not going to be able to get the best sleep possible. And so it's just kind of impractical, to be honest, to wake up that early for me. And so yeah, but how I'm overcoming that specifically on the sleep thing is the next month, and probably for the next like while, the next 2 months or so, I won't have any, like maybe sometimes I'll have like a late bedtime or whatever, but I'm going to wake up at the same time basically every single day from now on, right? And I'm going to go to bed around the same time from now on. Besides, because I have like 2 more 5 a.m. shifts that I have to go to. But beyond that, I'm going to bed at like 8:45 p.m. and I'm waking up around 6:30 or whenever my body tells me to wake up, right? So that's the goal. That's the plan. Wake up around 6:30, 6:45, go to bed around 8:45. Just so I get like 9-ish hours of sleep, maybe a little bit less, just because, naturally you're not going to get like 100% efficiency. It's just like just naturally inefficient sleeper, at least I am. I still get like 90% though, which is I think pretty good, but yeah, like not 100%. But yeah, that's how I'm overcoming the sleep thing, is like literally just fixing my habits of when I go to bed and wake up, and just becoming like absolutely ruthlessly dialed in on those things. Like it's so like I'm done with having poor night's sleep because I've went to bed at the wrong time and woken up like hella early for no reason. I'm done with that. If I have a bad night's of sleep, I want it to be because I'm like stressed out about something, or I have like this deep thought that I want to think about. or or I'm missing my bedtime because I'm at like a competition or whatever. Like those are the few reasons why I want to have a bad night's sleep. Beyond that, there's really no reason why I should be having any bad nights of sleep unless I'm like really like fatigued and overtrained and my heart rate's super high and I'm like sweaty. But if I fix my other habits consistency wise, which is kind of the next thing that kind of ties into this, then that shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, and just yeah. So consistency wise, I think I've been better this month. I mean, kind of. My habit tracker that I have up on my wall over there is a little bit more filled out than it was last month, to be honest. Like just like density wise, kind of taking a one glance at it, it's a little bit more filled out. And that shows that I've been a little bit more consistent, which is nice. But specific habits that I think will be super useful is just dialing in the food specifically that I eat, when I eat, how much I eat, etc. Making sure that I'm reading and learning and those sorts of things. Just consistency, making my day kind of the same over and over again. I think just having that consistency makes it so easy to do all the things that you want to do. Does that make sense? Like procrastination becomes very difficult whenever your day is the same thing over and over again and you just have a set time. I sit down and I do this. And that's kind of what I used to like about school, kind of, is that like it gave me a structure to the day and I was able to, get through that pretty easily. It's just whenever you're on your own, it's harder to like enforce that. But that's what I'm trying to do now is just enforce that kind of that like military routine type things. But yeah, those are the struggles that I've been dealing with. I don't think there's really anything else that I can really name right now. Like specific struggles that I think are like struggling. Like I'm sure I'm like, not proficient in many ways. Like I'm like struggling with my ability to speak Spanish or whatever, right? But that's not tied into my goals right now, if that makes sense. So yeah, those are the things that I've been kind of dealing with. I hope this episode has helped you out. So if you did find this helpful, then you should do all the YouTube stuff if you're on YouTube. If you're listening to this on Spotify, then you should do all the Spotify stuff. Like, I think it's like rate and review. Yeah, do all that stuff, like share it. That would be nice. And just watch and listen to all the other episodes. Thank you for listening or watching. I'll see you in the next one.